5 Feet Apart is a 2019 American coming-of-age romantic drama film directed by Justin Baldoni and written by Mickey Daughtry and Tobias Iaconis. The film received mixed reviews from critics and grossed $92 million worldwide. Plot: teenagers Stella Grant and Will Newman suffer from cystic fibrosis, CF, a progressive genetic disorder that damages organs and makes patients susceptible to infections. Due to their weakened immune systems, CF patients should not be closer than 6 feet, about 1.8 meters, to each other. Stella, who copes with the disease by trying to control her daily diet, taking her medications regularly, and following her doctor's orders exactly. Will, a cynical rebel with a bleak prognosis, is much more apathetic, an attitude that annoys the meticulous Stella. Will has contracted B. capacia and is participating in a new drug trial, but the infection makes him ineligible for a lung transplant. Stella has been on the transplant list for a long time. When Stella discovers that Will is not taking his treatment, she tries to help him. In return, he asks her permission to draw a picture of her. Will begins watching Stella's social media videos. Gradually, they begin taking their treatments together. Will and Stella fall in love, but they can't be closer than 6 feet. Stella's vas deferens is infected, so she has to have surgery to replace it. Will discovers that Stella's sister, Abby, who has been taking care of Stella, died from a botched stunt a year ago. With Abby dead, Stella faces the surgery alone, still burdened with survivor's guilt. After learning of Abby's death, Will comes to comfort Stella, and he sings her the song Abby always sang to her before surgery. After realizing that he might infect Stella, Will decides to say goodbye to her and confess his love for her. Before leaving, he gives her the sketchbook he drew of her and her friends while they were in the hospital. They walk around the hospital holding 2 pool cues, and their feelings grow deeper. Stella comes up with the idea of organizing a treasure hunt for Will's birthday, which surprises him. Will meets Stella, who leads him to a room full of her and her friends. They enjoy a lavish feast made by Poe and laugh their heads off. Meanwhile, the nurses begin to discover the relationship between Will and Stella and decide to transfer Will to another hospital in hopes of protecting them both. As they are about to submit the transfer papers, they receive a warning from Poe's room. Nurses rushed in and found him unconscious on the floor of the hospital room. Several other nurses entered the room. One performed CPR in hopes that Poe would survive, but he never regained consciousness. Stella and Will quickly figured out what had happened. Stella sobbed. Poe was her best friend, and she had never held him. Stella then realized that she was taking life too seriously. She told Will that growing up, everyone had prepared her for death, but she was the only one who had survived. She said that after Abby's death, her parents' deaths, and Poe's death, she felt guilty for surviving. She also told him that her dream was to see the light, but that would require them to walk 2 miles, 3.2 kilometers, from the hospital in the snow. As Will and Stella went to see the lights, Stella grabbed Will's hand, which she justified because she was wearing gloves. They crossed a pond and slid on the frozen water. Meanwhile, the hospital is informed that after years of waiting, Stella is finally a candidate for a lung transplant. She receives a series of messages asking where she is, but she ignores them to be with Will. Stella sits on a bridge, but falls while Will is distracted. She falls onto the ice, and Will pulls her out of the water. The shock of the cold water knocks Stella unconscious and causes her to stop her heart. Ignoring the risk of infection, Will performs CPR, and Stella wakes up. They return to the hospital, and Stella learns that she did not get the infection from Will. When Stella wakes up from surgery, she sees Will through the glass of the room. He tells her that he has a month to live, and that he does not want her to experience his death like all the others she has experienced. He says goodbye to her and does not know what will happen to him and her. Before leaving, he makes her close her eyes, because he says he will not be able to leave if she looks at him. She closed her eyes, and he walked away. 5 Steps to Love, an inspiring story of optimism and joy. What will viewers get after 120 minutes of sitting in front of the film 5 Steps to Love? It is a reminder of the simplest thing that we often unintentionally ignore: the act of touching. As Stella said, "If you are near them, touch them, because this life is too short for us to waste a single second." People greet each other with words, but can also be replaced with a hug, a kiss on the cheek, shaking hands, and sometimes, sharing does not need to make a sound, but is tangible as a headrest or a gentle pat on the shoulder. The message that Stella conveys, "If you are near them, touch them," that is not why 5 Feet Apart is only full of sad developments. Throughout the film is the image of the constant effort so that the two main characters can face each other and talk directly. Their story is a beautiful teenage love of children forced to live before their time, adapt to adversity. But after all, that love is tragic, with many lingering silences. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to support me, and look forward to many other interesting movie review summary videos.